A federal judge has ruled that Donald Trump and his lawyer will have to pay nearly $1 million, in sanctions due to a frivolous lawsuit they brought against Hillary Clinton, former FBI Director James Comey, and a number of different individuals, accusing them of all the things you've heard before: conspiring to take down and prosecute Trump over Russia. And the ruling by the judge in this case was brutal. 3 syllables there. And so I want to take a look at a New York Times article that has a lot of excerpts from this ruling in it, because finally Trump's abuse of our judicial process and system is being punished in this way, and it's great to see. So first we'll read this initial paragraph and then dive into some excerpts of the ruling. In a scathing ruling, the New York Times writes, a federal judge in Florida on Thursday ordered Donald J. Trump and one of his lawyers together to pay nearly $1 million in sanctions for filing a frivolous lawsuit against nearly 3 dozen of Mr. Trump's perceived political enemies, including Hillary Clinton and the former FBI Director James B. Comey. Okay, first excerpt from this ruling, quote, this case should never have been brought. Its inadequacy as a legal claim was evident from the start. No reasonable lawyer would have filed it. Intended for a political purpose, none of the counts of the amended complaint state a cognizable legal claim. And then jumping to another part of this, Mr. Trump is a prolific and sophisticated litigant who is repeatedly using the courts to seek revenge on political adversaries. And this is Judge Middlebrooks. He is the mastermind of strategic abuse of the judicial process, and he cannot be seen as a litigant blindly following the advice of a lawyer. He knew full well the impact of his actions. And obviously we're not going through the ruling itself, so these excerpts are not necessarily sentences next to each other or anything like that. Judge Middlebrooks said Mr. Trump's suit had been, quote, brought in bad faith for an improper purpose, needlessly harmed the 31 individuals and organizations, including the DNC, that he had sued in order to dishonestly advance a political narrative. A continuing pattern of misuse of the courts by Mr. Trump and his lawyers undermines the rule of law, portrays judges as partisans, and diverts resources from those who have suffered actual legal harm. And then just a few more to go through because they're absolutely correct. Referring to the claims, the judge called them, quote, implausible and categorically absurd. He also called it, quote, a hodgepodge of disconnected, often immaterial events followed by an implausible conclusion. This is a deliberate attempt to harass, to tell a story without regard to facts. I mean, it goes on, but so nicely done by the judge because it's accurate. What Trump has gotten in the habit of doing is using our judicial process, using the legal processes we have to harass people. And so often he's not held accountable for that improper usage of our systems. And here he is being. Between him and his lawyer, nearly $1 million in sanctions. And then interestingly, the same judge warned Trump and his team about their lawsuit, a different one against New York Attorney General Letitia James, and they withdrew that lawsuit. So they got the message with his first ruling, and they don't want another. Look at this from ABC News. Less than a day after receiving a warning from a federal judge, former President Donald Trump has withdrawn his lawsuit against New York Attorney General Letitia James. The withdrawal came in a brief document filed Friday morning with U.S. District Judge Donald Middlebrooks, who late Thursday warned Trump's legal team that the lawsuit appeared to verge on frivolous. Quote, plaintiff President Donald J. Trump, by and through his undersigned counsel and pursuant to something or another, hereby voluntarily dismisses his claims in this action against defendant Letitia James without prejudice. So he got the message, and this is great stuff. This is what you hope a ruling like the initial one will do. It'll send the message that you cannot be acting this way, and so then the individual will have to change their actions, in this case, Trump, and that's what he did, dropping his lawsuit against Letitia James. That was also frivolous, also an attempt to harass. So all in all, a bad day for Trump in the legal world, the judicial world, we'll say.